So, hello everybody, and welcome to the inaugural edition of the RnRGzrs show. My name is Murph. I'm a musician and lover of music from the mid 60s on. And with me is my cohort in crime, Doc Vox. What's up, Doc?
Doing good, Murph. Doing good.
All
I'm
right.
Doc Vox. Been around for a long time, just listening to music, collecting music, and long time DJ. Just living the rock and roll lifestyle, man.
I see that wall of sound you got behind you there, wall of music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, basically we'll be talking music, what's going on and what has been going on, what went on. And this summer we've got a full schedule of concerts we're going to be going to, and we're going to talk about them, and hopefully it's going to be a great summer. The very first concert we're going to is, let's get it up here on the screen.
Well, just to say real quick too, Murph, it's been a couple years. There's a little bit of concerts last year. We went to a couple last year, but it's just, it wasn't the big summer of concerts. And now this summer, it's like everybody's been canceled. It's coming back around, and it's just like it's almost like 2.5 years worth in one summer. So so we decided to get season tickets to our local venue, and they just keep announcing these tours coming around. It's just incredible.
Yeah, they're filling it up.
We shall be enjoying several of these shows, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
We're going to
go down and
we're going to preview from the first opening act to the last main act of the summer. And so let's get right with it. Our first band, the first, it's this first concert we're going to. It's probably a pretty good concert to start with. Nothing outrageous, nothing crazy. Classic rock. We're talking. There they are, Loverboy, the boys from Canada. Started up in '79, and they had a couple of hits. They're working for the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Turn Me Loose. I played both of them in bands, and Turn Me Loose I could give or take, but Working for the Weekend.
It's got the cool bass line at the beginning, It's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was all right. So that's a good startup. They'll probably give them a half hour or so and let them do their thing, and it'll still be light out, and we'll just be starting the margaritas out, so we'll still be in fine shape by then.
And it's most of the same guys. I think they have a different bass player, but it's still Mike Reno, and it's hopefully he's still got the headband, probably the same headband.
Red or he had something about red. Yeah.
I'm sure there's like decades of sweat in that thing right now. But
Sure. So we'll be seeing them, and they're of course opening up for a band everybody of course is familiar with, and that would be the band Styx. Oh yeah,
Styx.
Grand Illusion. That album was so classic, and I don't know how much of it they play, but that
was really the album that broke them through. They had a couple, they had Lady before that, and what was the other one? Lorelei. But the Grand Illusion album was, and that was their 7th album. They were 7 albums in at that point. So
dig that. And JT always looked like he's a smarmy bitch, JY. Oh, James Young. Yeah. Oh, he always looked like he's smarmy. That always just drives me nuts. Like, what's up with that?
I've kind of always had the same impression of him. I've seen interviews with him, and he's always bragging about how he saw Hendrix and how he did all this, and he's just
blah blah blah, pal. Don't care.
and then you got pretty boy Tommy Shaw, who just is ageless, just never
He's
ages.
Great though, and his voice. That's the thing about there's certain guys that can just keep up with the voice, and then there's the singers. Everybody knows the singers that totally crap out, but Tommy is one of them that he's still got the pipes, and I don't know, I can't remember the name of the guy who replaced Dennis DeYoung, but he's great. I mean, it's going to be a good show. And they've got so many hits.
No doubt.
So many hits, it'll be a great show.
I'm not a huge Styx guy, but they got songs everybody knows and like them or love them. Then, of course, there's a thing with Styx that they were the first band to have 4 multi-platinum albums, something along those lines. And there's some different things getting into that with, when they were awarded and things like that. But it was starting with Grand Illusion. Grand Illusion and Cornerstone and Pieces of 8 in Paradise Theater. And so they were solid. I mean, they were solid.
They were men of miracles.
Yes. People kind of look back on them now and kind of, because they got sucked into the whole corporate, rock thing, and especially into the 80s. And a lot of the bands that we'll be talking about today are kind of guilty of that same thing. But
oh boy, yeah,
including the very next one,
and that would be none other than REO Speedwagon. Now you notice I posted
the mighty REO.
I posted I posted their first album because I'm sort of jaded. I've been soiled by REO. Let me tell you, I was back in the day. I actually got to see them a few times before their first album even came out, and then a couple of times afterwards. And I'll tell you, they were still a hungry band, and
right.
And they were just amazing. And Gary Rithrath, he was out of control good. He was, that 59 Les Paul plugged into a wah-wah, plugged into a Marshall, and man, he just screamed. They were so hungry back then. They were so good.
Right. Of course, Kevin Cronin wasn't with them at the beginning.
No. It was Terry Luttrell. He was crazy. I saw him at an outdoor venue. It was like a broken down barn or whatever. And there was on the stage, there were rafters above, and he ended up hanging upside down from one of the rafters while he's singing. I mean, they rocked hard. And of course, Rick
This
Rath
had to be what, 70, 71?
This would have been 70, 71. 71, I think their album came out. And Rick Rath, he had and anybody that may remember that era, Rick Rath had a guitar strap that was long fringe, and it had elastic on it, so he could bounce his guitar.
Right.
These guys,
bands like that's pretty cool.
They were really good though, and of course, then the crap hit the fan from the album 2 on. They just, I don't know, they just lost the originality, and they just started going.
Again, just sucked into the whole corporate, the 70s corporate rock machine, and just.
God.
They got, so many bands, REO and Styx and Journey and Foreigner and Fleetwood Mac, and, the list goes on and on.
It was like cookie cutter, production. It's just amazing. But, although I believe they still play 157 Riverside Avenue, even to this day, which is off the first album, but they're missing Anti-Establishment Man and Gypsy Woman's Passion, all these great songs, and they just went sissy and wussy, and I don't want to sleep. I just want to keep on throwing your albums away, pal. That's how that vocal goes, eh?
Yeah.
Jiminy
well, like I said, I started with Terry Luttrell, and I'm trying to remember the exact chronology, but then Kevin Cronin was with the band for a short time, left, and then there was a guy, Mike Murphy.
Oh,
right.
I've heard of him. Yeah. And he was on like one album, right? I
believe, and then he left, and then Cronin came back, and he's been the steady guy since. But everybody knows REO. Everybody knows REO Speedwagon songs, and it'll be a fine show just to start the summer with. To get the feet wet, it'll be a fine show.
By the time REO hits the stage, I'll be I'll be feeling fine. It won't matter, and everybody will be singing those sappy songs. So I'll just deal with it, man. I just suck it up, if you will. So then that's a good 3 bill to start it out. And then the second one, the second concert we're going to, the opening act is Garbage. Shirley Manson. Yeah.
Shirley Manson.
I had no idea, but the band itself is from Madison, Wisconsin.
Right.
And Shirley's from Scotland. I wonder if she sounds like Groundskeeper Willie in real life. That would be far out.
I've seen her on interviews, and she is absolutely delightful. She is. She's just a pleasure to listen to and talk. Just very humble and clever and funny and witty. She's something.
After a long concert, I'd be happy to give her a back rub. So I'm just letting her know. That's all there is to that. But I'm pretty excited about who they're opening for.
Well, the Garbage, though, they have a new album out. And again, their seventh album, just the seventh that keeps popping up. So this is their seventh album, and the guys in the band, these guys are seasoned veterans.
Oh yeah. When
Rory Erickson, the drummer, Butch Vig, people may know he was the producer of Nirvana Nevermind, of Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream, several of the Foo Fighters albums. Oh God, the list just goes on and on and on. So to have this guy on drums, just to have that musical pedigree, back there, it's just very much looking forward to that show. So
and there's been a concert on Access TV. Garbage's they've been playing, and I'll tell you, they're really going to be impressive. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And then, of course, they're opening for Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears.
I'm looking forward to this too. A lot of these 80s bands are really starting to cash in on the nostalgia of it. All their old fans now have money, and the kids are out of the house. All these Journey concerts are selling out, and they've got Motley Crue. They're on their 50th ending.
Well, I would say the Tears for Fears, though, they have an album out too. So with Tears for Fears and Garbage, they're touring albums. They're not just nostalgic acts, although they are, but they have new albums. And again with Tears for Fears, their seventh album called The
Roland
Tipping Point.
And Kurt.
Roland and Kurt. Heard a little bit from it. It's exactly what you think Tears would sound like. Tears for Fears would sound like.
I can't wait.
They're 2022. So.
Their head over heels is the production on that song is stunning. I had a friend back in the day. I had a friend who had a big Polk Audio home stereo, a lot of watts, and he said, you got to listen to this. And the production is stunning, and it sounds just as good at home on my clip stereo. So very cool indeed. Okay, so from there we're going to Steely Dan. This ought to be bizarre. Dan. Man, oh man, what the hell? Is the wine and cheese going to be flowing or what? Man.
Yeah, I know, but I like Steely Dan. I've always kind of liked Steely Dan. They just kind of had that space between jazz and rock, kind of
reeling in the years.
Band, they
reeling in the years. Yeah, right. Reeling in the years, right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate, and they had those, again, 7 albums. What was those 7 albums? They had 7 albums during the 70s, and I think actually Gaucho was 1980, but through the 70s, that decade, and then they were gone. It was Walter Becker and Donald Fagen, and we recently lost Walter Becker, so it'll be interesting to see that. But just to see them in concert, because they didn't tour for a long time. They were
they don't tour. Band. They're studio guys.
Yeah, they were a studio band.
Yeah, and, so that'll be good to see them.
No, I remember even with I think it was a Gaucho album. They had like 43 people on that album, playing on it. So
I saw a big story about the reeling in the years. The guy who did the lead, just one
David
take,
Palmer,
one take all the way through. Boom, that was it. That's all it took.
Dave was the singer. You're talking guitar. Yeah.
But they
cool. Always had just the top notch musicians. So it should be a very good show.
Absolutely. So let's move on down the line.
Little trivia on Steely Dan.
Sure.
The original drummer for Steely Dan. Right. Well, actually, prior to being Steely Dan, they were a band called Leather Canary in college, and it was Walter Becker, Donald Fagen, and a drummer. We may know Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase was a drummer.
Wow.
So needless to say, they went very
I wonder if he was. I wonder if he was such a prick back then too, as he obviously, from what I've read, he seems to be in the movie. Real jerk.
I'm sure he was. Yeah, I'm sure he was.
Well,
we could do a whole bit on that, I'm sure of that.
Well, we'll move on. Leave it,
Chevy, pick up the pace, man. Chevy.
Chevy. Oh gosh. So moving on with our summer schedule. This one I'm freaking out on this. Earth, Wind, and Fire. That is gonna be some badass stuff.
That's another
Are
one.
you
There's going to
kidding?
be like, there's
Oh,
going to be like 17 guys on stage and
oh
just,
man.
just all throwing down.
Yeah, moving and grooving, man. That is
Yeah.
going to be
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And what a list of songs what a an encyclopedia of music they got to choose from.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is going to be great.
Yeah, there'll be one right after another, just grooving and grooving, and I'm sure the crowd there, and that's going to be a big part of the variety of shows we're going to, is just the different crowds, and this is going to be awesome.
I can't wait. Yeah. You there?
Earth,
There
Wind,
you go.
Fire, another one. It's just a nostalgia act, obviously, but there's like 3 original members. But Philip Bailey, the vocalist, is one of them. So that's pretty cool. And of course, they lost Maurice White. He was kind of
that what a shame there.
He lost a few years back. I think 2016 when we lost all those musicians that year. I think he was among that bunch. But think about Maurice White. He was slated to produce Prince's first album.
Wow.
And Prince said, no, nobody's producing my album.
Well, the results speak for themselves.
Exactly.
So.
I think, yeah.
There you go.
But nonetheless, should be a great show. And of course, they are opening up for
Santana. Legendary. It's just going to be such a pleasure to actually see a performer from Woodstock. That's
right.
That is amazing. We're losing so many of them. We've lost so many of them, right? Starting with Bob Bear Height from Canned Heat to Joe Cocker to Jimi Hendrix to half of the Who to Alvin Lee.
Right. Right.
I think Sly Stone, he's gone, right?
I believe he's still around.
No way. That'd be great. Nonetheless. Hey, Sly, you got a gig in Chicago. You may want to show up.
No, nobody knows for sure. They're still waiting for him to show up. Yeah.
But to see Santana, that should be just unbelievable.
Another one, he's got a new album out, supporting, not his 7th, but who knows, probably by his 40th by now. But and again, going to the same formula, having those guest vocalists. Rob Thomas is among, he's coming back. And then he does a song with Chris Stapleton, who's a country guy, but it's almost like a reggae gospel. It's just good stuff. Can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. So that's gonna be just a glorious concert there. And oh boy, here we go now, and still with the nostalgia stuff. Next concert, the opening act is Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
Boy, oh boy. They're great. I'm a big, I was a bigger fan of their earlier stuff, because that was in my era.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The first 3 albums.
Yeah.
They're
mind blowing.
Yes.
Just some of the best.
They're monumental.
Some of the best pop rock. I mean, some of these songs are and I played a bunch of them too in a band, and they're just great songs.
Oh yeah, just gems.
Oh man, and I got a story about them. When I was a young lad, I saw a local band at our local VFW, a band called Fuse, and they had an album. I think they only put out one album, but they were popular around the area. And I had seen them at the VHW, and they had that really nice stage, and they had walls of speakers on both sides, and they're playing. There's a crazy guy on keyboards on the side, just going nuts on this Hammond, and I didn't think much of it. And it turns out that was Rick Nielsen. He was a keyboard player before he became a guitarist, and the bass player in the Fuse was Peterson, the bass player for Cheap Trick, Tom Peterson. So I saw him early, didn't know what they were doing, but Nielsen obviously had visions, and man, those, like I say, those, especially the first 2 were just mind blowing. Actually, absolutely. You're right though. All 3 of them just mind blowing, and they're opening for another legend. This ought to be interesting though. I've heard mixed reviews on good old Rod Stewart.
What an odd billing. Well, somewhat, but you look back in some of the billings back in the 70s, they were much odder. But for this time period, Rod Stewart Cheap Trick just seems a little odd. But looking forward to it nonetheless. Again, Cheap Trick. Again, the first 3 albums, like I said, first 2 really just the right mix of pop punk and
catch it, hooks,
just
hooks into songs,
of
and
Beatles influence and like I said, punk and pop and power pop. It was just the right mix of all that, man. They just had that sound that's been so emulated. And just to add to real quick, we are in the Chicago suburbs, so some of the references we make may be kind of local,
centered around Chicago.
But nonetheless, and then you see Rod Stewart, and to me, I'm disappointed in Rod Stewart. Started off, start from the Jeff Beck group and
right, Truth,
and just his vocals then, and just the material he was doing was just so powerful, and just like, yes, this is rock and roll. And then he got into the solo stuff, and again with the corporate takeover, again, just started selling albums, and just and then just it's been fading ever since, quite honestly.
What is it? Not as good as a wink to a blind horse. Wasn't that? I think Ron Wood was playing on that.
That was Faces album.
Right? Ron Wood did some of his best work with Rod Stewart. It just I was disappointed when he joined the Stones. Yeah.
Right. Or even on that album, I believe Ronnie Lane did some of the vocals on there, and I always thought, you got Rod Stewart in your band, man. Why would you have anybody else sing, man?
What's up with that? Jeez.
But yeah, just I don't know. And we'll go see him, and it'll be fine. Hopefully he won't need to get his stomach pumped afterwards or whatever.
True that.
Maybe
okay,
that's that problem. So
moving on down the line here, the next show we got the openers, another mind-blowing situation, just out of control, unbelievable. Brian Wilson and Al Jardine. That talk about legends, talk about icons, talk about idols, talk about
royalty.
Royalty, music. Jeez. Gosh, you talk about all the Woodstock stars that have passed. Well, these guys started these guys started in mid 60s,
early 60s.
So the music, geez. I've seen videos now where Jardine's son plays with him, does some good high vocals, and God bless him, man. We're so fortunate. We're so fortunate to see these two guys playing, and it's just going to be great.
I mean, I've never been a big Beach Boys fan, but I've always respected what they've done for music, and just to see them live is just going to be real cool. Yeah,
just going to be legendary. Yeah, and they're opening up for another.
Hopefully John Stamos won't be playing bongos or whatever.
They're opening up for Chicago.
Yes.
Another band who I gotta say, the first two albums just unbelievably great. That Chicago Transit Authority, and then the first Chicago just great. And then I just sort of, went my way. But
again, another band that got sucked into that corporate, 70s machine, and just
But they
I mean, they had the balls. Their debut album was a double album, man. Who does that? Nobody does that.
Nope. They did.
They did. And it worked. And it worked great. Of course, Peter Cetera is no longer with them,
which sucks.
They've got a fair amount of.
I've seen them. They got the horn. The horn players. A couple of the horn players are still with them, and they've got they've filled up our radios with a heck of a lot of songs. So I'm looking forward to that, of course, too. It's just going to be a.
Just be so many songs. They'll just bring us back, and Saturday in the Park, and
crying out loud.
And all those great songs.
Does anybody really know what time it
all
is?
Those great songs.
Of
course, again with Peter. Real quick, Peter Cetera story. Do you know? I don't know if you ever noticed how he sang, kind of almost clenched jaw. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. There's a reason why he does that.
Why is that?
Back in when they first started, and they were in L.A. and the band, from Chicago, good hometown boys, went to see the Cubs play the Dodgers in L.A. And as they're leaving, they encountered some Marines who kind of gave them the hey, long hair, kind of gave him a little crap and everything, and commenced to beat the shit out of Peter Cetera and break his jaw. So he after not much time at all, which is a few days from what I understand. He was back singing and just kind of had his jaw clenched, and that was kind of how he developed that style. So
wow, dig that.
yeah.
Come on, Marines,
Yeah.
man. What is this? This isn't Stripes. Jeez. Come on, what the heck? Oh boy. Well, that's a shame, but nonetheless, they gave us some good music. It's going to be a good time. And now we delve into the interesting Mudvayne. Mudvayne. I have no freaking clue. All I know is they look wacky, and I'm sure they rock like hell. So I'm looking forward to it. It's time to expand the horizon a little bit, I think that's gonna
this tour, and with the opening band, this is the Freaks on Parade tour. So and that's what I'm looking forward to see Freaks on Parade. That's
you got that right. Yeah. And Mudvayne, they're opening for everybody knows Rob Zombie. Yeah.
Rob Zombie.
That should be.
I've seen Rob Zombie, and it's pretty much what you expect it to be, and it's awesome. It's great. He's a freaking genius, man. I mean, you gotta give it to the guy.
He does a lot. He does a lot.
He does a lot.
Yeah.
And he does it well. He's an original.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward. I obviously I've heard all the songs and stuff, and I'm looking forward to finally seeing him, and I'm glad you did, so you can hold me by the hand, because I might be scared. No, I won't be scared. Okay, here we go. Come on,
we're going to hell, Murph, and Rob Zombie's taking us.
Oh, geez. Okay, here we go. The next up is Sublime. Sublime, another band. I'm sure I've heard plenty of their songs, but I don't know.
Actually, I gotta correct you, Mike. It's Sublime with Rome.
Sublime with Rome. You are correct,
Sublime
sir.
with Rome.
You are correct.
And the story with that, Sublime, we all know, actually the album that we all know and love was their third album. They were a trio out of Long Beach, California. The main guy, Bradley Newell, died right before the release of the third album. So they kind of broke up then when their greatest albums coming out, and all the songs that we know, What I Got and Santeria and all those great songs. Wrong Way, and what's the other one? Several of them on there. But so with his passing, they kind of broke up, but then they decided to get back together, as these things happen sometimes.
Sure.
And with the estate of Bradley saying, no, you're not using the name Sublime. So they the guy that got to replace him, Rome Ramirez, and they added Sublime. And,
takes care of that issue.
Should be a great time nonetheless. They're very they got their own style, they got their own groove, and it's going to be a different kind of crowd for sure. I'm looking forward to that as well.
And they're opening up for Incubus. Now, I've heard a few of their songs, and I've seen some video, and it looks like they're insane. So this ought to be a really great.
Yeah, they got some radio hits, early 2000s. So they don't have anything new coming out or anything like that. They're just
wait a while
on tour. So.
Okay, hang on here. Oh boy. So this is Foreigner here we're looking at, actually. Damn it, got my pictures mixed up. Foreigner is after Incubus. That's the next show, and they're opening. And good grief, talk about a band with tons of hits. It's a hit machine. Now the Foreigner, now they got like one original member left, do they? Or
Mick Jones. He's the main guy.
Boy,
he's the only one. Yeah,
that drives me nuts. Jeez, whatever, I guess. But
he's the Axl Rose of Foreigner. he's the only one left, and he's
my gosh. Well, whatever. Okay, I'm sure they'll still be good. And I've heard them recently, and their singer's spot on. They got a trooper who sings just like the record, and that's
they probably found him on YouTube. It's like the guy from Journey, and so many bands are doing that now. Say, hey, we got to get back out there. We're just we're not doing anything from the new album. We're just doing the hits. We got to get somebody that sounds like Lou Gramm. Go.
And that's what they did. Yeah. And so that we'll hear a bunch of great songs there. I'm sure they'll be just kicking ass, and they're opening up for Kid Rock. Kid
Rock.
Rock. Now I haven't seen him live, but I've seen tons of them everywhere. So I'm expecting a great show. I'm sure he's going to just kick some royal ass.
He's got a new album out too. That's very country rock, patriotic. You know, kind of what
Just
you
rock.
expect. So
give me some power chords, man. Come on.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he'll do the old stuff too, and you know. But
looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I never thought I'd go to a Kid Rock show, to be honest with you. But you know,
hey, you got
it's be a good time nonetheless.
Yeah. Now this show, I think you've got a previous something going on that you can't make this one. The opening act is Evanescence, and that ought to be good. She got a great voice.
I have seen Evanescence a couple times. That's my teenage daughter at the time, her favorite band.
Okay.
And I took her a couple times, and we were up front one time, right in front, and she was singing to my daughter, and I was number one dad that day. But yeah, I've seen them a couple times, and she's the real deal. She's got the real stuff. So
sure, that'll be
great
good.
opening band. Yeah,
and they're opening for. I can't wait for this. I've seen these cats. Korn. One of my faves. Korn and Meshuggah. But yeah, Korn, that'll be a blast. Their set is really good. I saw them a few years back, about 10th row, and they were smoking. Got a couple of picks from Monkey, and so that was very cool.
Nice.
And yeah, they were just kicking ass and taking names.
Now, Murph, I won't be there at that show to stop you, so please stay out of the mosh pit, man. Please,
please, boy, I don't know. Please,
for your own safety, Murph, stay out.
Yes, I will. Okay, moving on. We got to move on here and get this whole schedule in. The next show, the opening act is Breaking Benjamin. A couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I saw him front row at our local music establishment, and
nice.
They were good. Yeah, they're going to put on a fine show. They've been around a while, so I'm looking forward to them.
I don't know too much about them, but also on that bill is Bush.
Bush must be opening for them then.
Right. Yes, it's a triple bill. Gavin Rossdale with Bush, and again, don't know what they've been up to much lately, but that the 16 Stone album is just a mid-90s classic, man. It's just a great album.
Excellent. Moving on, and they're opening up for another one of my favorites, Alice in Chains. Outstanding. That's just gonna be great. I've seen Alice in Chains. They opened up for Korn when I saw them, and that's a great time. That's the great thing about Alice in Chains is they've got a lead singer who's also a rhythm guitarist now. So
right.
They sound a lot fuller now, which is really nice. So I'm really pumped about that. So yeah, that's all. Alice in Chains. Next show, we got to move on. We're running out of time. Next show, opening act, George Thorogood. I'm sure that'll be some good rocking good. You know
exactly what you're getting with George Thorogood. He's not gonna slip in a love song on you. There's not gonna be there's gonna be a lot of drinking and fighting and sinning and
yeah. And then George is opening up for the Red Man, Sammy Hagar. I mean that, man. Yeah,
Sammy just never stops. He's into his 70s at this point. Does not look it at all, and just never stops, man.
Yeah,
this guy just keeps
touring. I saw him.
Doesn't matter if he's in Van Halen or whatever. This guy just never stops.
I saw him live when he was with Montrose, and then I saw him solo opening for Boston when they only had one album out. So he did a double set, and they come out and did their album. That was it. But and then I saw him. I saw him recently. Yeah, I've seen him a lot. So it'll be a good show. He's guaranteed. Guaranteed to rock, man.
Yeah, he knows what he's
about
doing.
It. Okay, so we got that. Where are we going to?
Final show, I believe, right?
Yeah, that would be Megadeth. Haven't seen them. Boy, I bet they smoke. I bet they kick ass. They're Megadeth, damn it.
Yeah,
they can't help it. Dave's got.
I think we know exactly what we're in for with Megadeth.
Yeah. And now the last show. This one's going to be interesting. And that's the 5 Finger Death Punch. Now, I don't know a damn thing about them, but I know they rock hard, and I've seen videos of them, and then they're out of their mind. So what a way to end the season. Well,
Yeah, I saw one of those bands. The youngsters, they love them or they hate them. So we'll.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great concert season, just in the fact that we're seeing, legends, and we're seeing new from legends to new. We're seeing the whole spectrum of everything. This
Rock and Roll
summer.
Hall of Famers and just
yeah, unbelievable. Gosh, so it's going to be a very exciting time, and I can't wait. So this is the Rock and Roll Geezer show, and we sure are glad you stopped by. We'll try and get this going once a week. Keep you going on music. Do a lot of music talk. Maybe some trivia, this and that, and we can't wait to keep this baby rolling. So thanks again for stopping by. Doc, thanks to you, man. Thanks for all this info.
Murph.
It's nice having you around, brother.
Long live rock and roll, man.
We'll see you next week then.